So we're going to talk about a lot of different things today. It's Q&A. TRD, are they dead? COBB and the EPA, and a bunch of other questions. Let's roll it. Hey guys, welcome back to another Talking Mods. Today, it's a Q&A. I actually really like these because you guys get to ask a lot of different questions. We're not just coming up with certain information, and it kind of gets us into a different areas. So if you have questions, feel free. Check us out on our Mod Bargains Instagram page. We do put it up when it's time for Q&A questions, and I take it from there, and actually sometimes from your YouTube questions as well. So comments below. I do try to respond most of the time, and if I think it's something that we should bring up as a topic for enthusiasts, then I bring it up to you guys. All right, and I'm going to be looking over, not trying to be rude, and again, as always, our shameless plug, Mod Bargains for all your needs and so forth. All right, guys. First question. I've been seeing videos on YouTube that TRD is dead. Is this true? What's going on with TRD? No. All right, next question. Just kidding. No, TRD. TRD is Toyota Racing Development. You might know them from back in the 90s. They were very, very popular in a lot of vehicles and stuff like that, but they are not dead. What you guys are probably seeing in these other YouTube videos, because I had to research this and look at it, and I'm not trying to bash any other YouTube channels. I'm sure you guys watch these other channels, but some clickbait that they're just trying to get information on. TRD is still alive and well. They've shifted their focus as a company. They're still involved in motorsports in certain ways. I mean, basically, I'm just going to read from what I put on here from an employee. They're still supplying NASCAR Cup Series since 2007. They are doing a lot of car champions, IndyCar, and honestly, they're still doing stuff in the truck market. So they've actually shifted over towards the off-road market. They're just not doing a lot of the, they don't really have certain vehicles that are out there anymore, and they're not really doing a Supra, and the Supra is made by BMW anyway, guys. I'm sure you guys knew this. So it's just a different, they've just evolved and changed with the times, and I think that's okay. But TRD is not dead. They're just not the same company that you might have remembered in the 90s, and there's nothing wrong with that, so just look out for the clickbait. All right, next question. I noticed on your videos you talk about EVs and such, but then are you an enthusiast? Why are you talking about Tesla? Great question. Yeah, I do talk about EVs because as enthusiasts, we got to recognize things that are changing in our marketplace. Just like the TRD question, they've evolved in time. Now, as an enthusiast, you might not like that cars, there are more EVs getting sold. It's still like only 1% of the marketplace. So you might not like that, but they're on their way. They're becoming they're becoming part of car culture. And is it going to be the same car culture? No, it will evolve and our taste will evolve, but we can evolve with it and change the narrative of it. And this is just like the same way, if you guys watch Formula One, for example, you guys, I'm sure, remember the days of the V12. I loved it. And then we went to a V8. And now they've gone to a V6. And it just kind of like, all the fans are like, okay, I'm leaving it, and I'm leaving it. It's evolved, it's changed, and it's still exciting, and it's still fun. But it's different. It sounds different. The cars sound different. But things change, and we change with it. So, I mean, some of us have to accept it. Some of us will not accept it. That's a normal thing. We as human beings are just not receptive to change in general, so we try to stick with it as long as we can. But again, I'm bringing this information out to you guys because it's important. I think Tesla is one of the leaders in EV, and I actually purchased a Tesla as my daily vehicle. I'm still an enthusiast. And I think that kind of leads to the next question, so I'll read the next question and I'll explain it. So, yeah, what cars have you owned and own? Okay, so I've owned a lot of different cars. You'll see that I'm not biased towards one car or another manufacturer. I know some of us all have our own preferences and favorites, right? I'll I started off, well, my very first car is, it was a Toyota Camry, right? It wasn't my car, it was a hand-me-down. But from there, I've gone towards all kinds of different cars. I've owned a BMW, I've had an E46, I had 2 generations of the E46, I had an S2000, Honda S2000, I've had a Mercedes C63, I've had, currently still have a 911 Turbo. I have an AE86, a 1986 Toyota Corolla. It's a drifting car and was kind of like a track car. I have driven many different cars from friends. Oh, I had an FD RX-7. So I've had the JDM, I've had European. I haven't had a lot of domestic, unfortunately, but I've got to drive a lot of domestics. I got to drive them on the track. I love the Corvette. I've been on the track many times with the Corvette, which was on loan to me. Even the Mustang on track. And then on the other side of it, I have a Tesla. I picked up a Tesla, and I know, oh no, as an enthusiast, but I need to be aware and see what's going on in the marketplace, right? So I picked it up because, one, my drive is really far from work, and I needed to be, one is the cost of gas. I was driving, a Porsche Cayenne Turbo, which, you know, an SUV. I was spending about 900 and something per month on gas. So the Tesla Model S really helped me out there. You know, I got to see how things evolve, saw what I liked, what I didn't like, and I could probably do a whole video of what I liked and didn't like if you guys are interested in that. My interests are all over the place right now. I mean, I love vehicles. I love every single manufacturer. I think everybody has different philosophies. I think that's what makes us as car enthusiasts. You know, we got to be open-minded towards it. I'm looking at additional trucks and off-road vehicles. I've been involved in Jeeps. I've been involved in a lot of other areas as well. I think I named a lot of the cars. I probably missed some. I try to name them as fast as I can because I don't want to bore you. All right, next one. I'm wanting to get more into track type events. How would you recommend I go about it? This is a really great question. We did a video about starting out on the track. We'll put it up and we'll put a link for you guys if you guys want to check that one out. But in particular, what's really not discussed there, number one is, and I'm aware of this, going to the track is extremely expensive, and it's a lot of fun, guys. It's tons of fun, and I highly recommend it. It's only going to make you a better driver in real life. For me, it kind of calmed me down as a driver from when I was really young. And you're probably, I'm guessing you're young, I don't know, but when I was much younger, I was obviously I was an aggressive driver. And I started realizing that others around me didn't really know what they were doing, whether they were braking into turns. Just being aggressive for no reason on a street road is just dumb, in my opinion. Street racing I don't like it. To be honest with you, I think it's very dangerous. But when you're on the track in a safe environment and you get to really learn how to push your vehicle and get to see the dynamics and learn about balance, and we'll talk more about these things in further videos, but one of the ways that I really got involved on it is going towards free events. Now, free events don't exist right now because of the pandemic, but that should be ending pretty soon. And there is a lot of events. So if you follow manufacturers, right, for example, like Toyota, it doesn't matter, all manufacturers, right? So it could be Toyota, Honda, Ford. They always, when they introduce a new vehicle, they have a ride and drive, a test drive. Even tire manufacturers have this. And if you go to these events, and they always have them on a weekend, they rent out a track area, or they'll rent out like an airport area, and they're in all different cities across the U.S. You just gotta, sign up, look for it, find out when it's happening. You go, and you can go and you get to use their car, right? And you get to use their tires. And it's a short event, but it's gonna teach you stuff, and you're gonna have a lot of fun. And you can spend the entire day just using their cars. It's not a full track day, right? But it's a beginning entry level, right? And then if you save some money, you can go to some classes and so forth. But when I used to go to those kind of events, the people who are sitting with you in those cars, they're all professional race car drivers. They hire only the best of the best. And the funny thing is, they just sit there and they're always bored. So if you go and talk to them and just say, hey, I want to learn how to be a better driver, like if it's on the track. Can you show me either what I should do and correct me as I'm driving? And they would be more than happy to. I guarantee you that, because I had the best experience with them. I stayed in touch with a lot of them, and they would teach me different techniques, and they would say, hey, you're not taking full advantage of the path, the track, you're not hitting the apex correctly. You're all these little things that you end up learning, and you will really, I think that's the cheapest. It's free, and you can learn it that way, just to start off, see how much you like it, invest in it. I recommend, I mentioned I had an AE86. I recommend trying to find a vehicle that's inexpensive, maybe like a Miata or something. Really learn about car balance. Stop looking at just horsepower. Horsepower without control is just, out of control.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
So you need to find a car that you think you can control. You don't need a lot of horsepower to have fun, and you'll realize that as you're on the track, and you'll realize how fast you are even with a slow vehicle. And control is that critical to you. So hopefully that's some good piece of advice. I think just take it in evolutionary steps, what you can afford and what's your budget. If you have a bigger budget, go for it and take these additional schools. Again, check out that video. It goes more in depth on how to set up and what to do for going towards the track, just giving you my personal experience. Last question, because we're running out of time. All right, I heard COBB is now difficult to purchase. What's going on? Why are prices so expensive on Facebook Marketplace? Okay, so Facebook Marketplace is a place that a lot of people sell parts on for different areas. COBB, if you don't know who they are a tuner. Very, very popular in Subaru, a lot of cars. They were popular in BMW, Porsche, Audi. They have a ton, and they are awesome. They're one of my favorite tuners, to be honest. They know what they've been doing for a long time. Now, to answer this question, it's really simple. COBB recently announced certain ones of their access ports, their tuners, which you can plug in and do a tune for your vehicle, that they now either have an EO or don't have an EO, meaning that some of their maps are no longer legal, but they have the ones that are legal. Now, COBB has been working, and one was a few exempted, not exempted, but like the EPA was working with them, like there was a dialogue and communication, and they're continuing to do that. And they said they were doing it since 2009. I know for a fact they were doing it back in 2014, 15. And they've been actually doing stuff with exhaust. I think they're doing what's called a GESI catted downpipes. Again, they're trying to make a legal downpipes and building that with the maps. So what's happened is, as soon as they announced this new thing, it came out at the end of February, and all the people who own COBBs, well, if you already owned a previous COBB tuner, then your value of that tuner probably just doubled or tripled or whatever went up. I don't know what the marketplace is selling for, but those maps, the old maps, are kind of valuable to some people because they're high horsepower or whatever, but they don't have the approval. So if you buy a new tuner, you don't get those maps. So a lot of people are trying to seek out those older maps, and the demand is really high. And again, each tune is what's called it's licensed with one vehicle at a time, one VIN at a time. So hopefully that explains it. But basically, COBB has just restricted the amount of available tunes. You still have a lot of tunes that are legal, and they have CARBO. I think COBB is a great company. So, and they know what they've been doing with the EPA. So, and they have a lot of stuff up their sleeve. I think their initiative, if I remember correctly, is the Green Speed Mission. So if you want to look at it, I'll put a link below. You guys can check out the Green Speed Mission, and we'll put a list of all the CARBO approved items from them. So they have a whole list for you guys. And guys, please, comments, questions, and if you haven't subscribed, again, as always, I hate asking, please do so. It helps us out. And hit that like button. And I will see you on the next Talking Mods.